I'm gonna be a little honest with y'all. After my failed attempts at finding a girlfriend with those dating sims, I'm kind of not in the mood for love talk. I am in my bitterly single era now for the remainder of February, and Nakamura and Nozawa have the gall to give us a cute, lovey-dovey montage of dates between Rentaro and some of his girlfriends in a flirty daily life chapter this week. You know what? I object. Based on principle alone for all single people everywhere, I will not cover all the lovey-dovey propaganda this series constantly shoves in our faces. Alright, it's technically my job to cover this. Okay, I will, but I won't be happy about it. I'm Moonlight150, and this is my bitter field review of the latest 100 Girlfriends manga chapter, Chapter 206, Rentaro's Daily Life with His Girlfriends, Part 5. How on earth are we on Part 5 of this subset of chapters already? Be sure to support the Scanlation team that also suffers from all this cutesy propaganda this series is constantly giving us by reading where they post them, and also continue supporting the official release so the series can continue, especially the anime because we just got over the halfway mark of the season, and we need to support to lock in for a season 3 to continue the chaos. Now, onto the sickly love. Our latest installment of the flirty daily life starts with Sue and Rentaro at an amusement park. That's not Disneyland, I'm assuming.
These nuts. Got it!
In a smitten Sue at an amusement park. But instead of enjoying the rides, Sue is enjoying seeing the numbers on all the attractions they are riding. Until eventually they end up on a Ferris wheel, and Rentaro worries that she might not be enjoying herself because you can't see the number of the carriage from the inside. But it turns out not to be an issue, as Sue is enjoying being with Rentaro as much as she does seeing the numbers, which is really some nice character development on her end. Also interesting side note that Sue never has her eyes open in the entirety of the 2 pages of this segment. Weird, huh? In Hasua's debut outing since her introduction, we have her and Rentaro doing an escape room date, where they are off to a strong start with the power of Hasua's nose sniffing out where the hidden key is, but the tables turn as they end up shackled up to a wall and need to solve riddles before the walls crush them. Rentaro is given the riddle of scanty canapes decanter Mohican pecans, with a hint of cannot. Using the hint of cannot, Rentaro notices that if you remove the letters of cannot from the string of words, it leaves the phrase sty apes deter moheeps, which, like Rentaro says, is total nonsense. A more correct answer would be cannot itself. In anagram puzzles, the word that you can extract is the answer, so the fact that you can extract the word cannot or can't from all 3 phrases means that cannot is the real answer. But since the escape room accepted Rentaro's nonsense of an answer, we'll just have to roll with it. Hasua also has a puzzle which is much simpler, but due to her over-reliance on sniffing to solve problems instead of her eyes to read the board, they end up failing and being crushed to death. Not really, as we learn in the notes here that these walls are padded, and they end up just pressing into one another, where Hasua enjoys just taking in big whiffs of Rentaro's scent yet again. Rentaro and Kurumi are en route to the ramen shop as Kurumi's ever-hungry stomach starts to irk her, and realizing that she will just continue to burn calories as she walks and only get hungrier, Rentaro picks her up to carry her the rest of the way. Swept up in the moment, both Rentaro and Kurumi begin inner monologuing about their admiration for one another, and yada yada, they get all cutesy staring at one another and then end up making out in the middle of the street. Not like I'm jealous or anything, especially in February, the month of love or anything.
Yeah, right.
Chalk another up for another home movie date, this time with Ira and Iris-san the college girl. After still refusing to get a decent movie watching setup at home instead of just an iPad, Ira recommends they watch a Disney movie,
These nuts.
where Rentaro fears she is only doing that due to how much younger he is than her. But it turns out she wants to do it for fun, that even though she's in college, she doesn't want to be grown up all the time, that it's perfectly fine to let your hair down occasionally and enjoy the simpler things, which leads to more acting cute together, and yeah, it's now really hitting me just how lovey-dovey these chapters are. I can get through this though. Next part. Karane had a tsundere moment while they were cleaning up the gym, so all the equipment collapsed on them and now they're trapped. Oh, would you look at that? That just so happens to be the title too. And instead of letting Karane feel bad for getting them in this situation, Rentaro decides to turn on the Riz and say how lucky he is to be this close to Karane and starts complimenting her on everything, which sends Karane's tsundere-ness into overdrive and short-circuits her brain, and she unleashes all the strength to send Rentaro flying through all of the fallen equipment, which gravity is having none of that, as it sends him up, then right back down on Karane and they proceed to make out. Another home date with Mei, but without knit Rentaro this time. In Packed Too Tight, another bra bites the dust. As in the middle of the date, Mei's bra fails and pops like an blown up balloon, where she goes into a self-loathing spiral about her own body, until Rentaro provides some emotional support about loving her and her body all the same. Body positivity from your partners, you love to see it. Thankfully this one is a more supportive love than lovey-dovey affection, so my single bitterness can subside for now. Bait and Bewitch has Rentaro and Yaku out for a nice day at the park, where it seems she has nodded off yet again. After being entranced by Yaku's face, it turns out she has been actually awake this whole time, and is smitten by Rentaro's affection. Alright, we're back to the lovey-dovey. The peace was nice while it lasted. Kishka and Rentaro are out training in You Are the Greatest, where after forming a Yamcha-sized hole after working out, what? You don't form a crater after you work out? You're clearly not working out hard enough then. I don't make the rules. Kishka questions Rentaro about why is he pushing himself beyond his limits, where he replies that being her boyfriend means he needs to be stronger, which gets them into a lover's quarrel about who loves who more, and whether they are good enough for one another. Until Kishka deals the final blow in saying that every day she thinks about how cool and manly and gallant he is, which causes Rentaro to have a fatal throb, only to be brought back to life by a life-giving throb. Okay, a bit more lovey-dovey, but also supportive and having clear communication with your partner. I can live with this. Momiji and Rentaro are out and about and gone squishy fishing, where the couple seem to bump into what appears to be Mai's mother? I mean, the resemblance is uncanny. But I guess this is just your general run-of-the-mill MILF character from a hentai. I mean, I don't know what those are like. Not that I've watched any of those. But Momiji admits she's having a hard time controlling her groping urges when in the presence of someone so robust. And Rentaro leaps into action to avoid the awkward situation by distracting her with his own lips instead, only for her to be distracted yet again by another bodacious body of another background character, who seems a little too detailed in her design to be a background character. Like, ma'am, your knockers are way out of proportion here. Not to mention the whole clothing ensemble is way too specific for a general background character. This character seems to be leaning into the Jirai K subculture in Japan, which I won't go too deep into as that would make this a whole other video, but for some oversimplification, let's just call it the Japanese cousin to what we associate as goths and sad girls with a gyaru sense of fashion, but with an emotional unpredictability personality as the Jirai in Jirai K basically translates to landmine, to emphasize their explosive unpredictability. I'm not usually one to believe the fan theories that Nakamura and Nozawa would tease potential future girlfriends in the background of chapters, but Nozawa going out of her way to design something so specific of an archetype that creators usually save for actual characters is suspicious. I mean, I definitely believe this potentially being a girlfriend more than Bike Girl we had back in chapter 182, when the fandom was convincing themselves that that was also a future girlfriend tease. Or maybe Nozawa just wanted to draw a Jirai K girl and Nakamura was like, nah, we're not doing one as a girlfriend, and just added it herself. Guess only time will tell. Back to the chapter though, after admiring the chesticles of some other characters, including Kusuri's father who has hulked out yet again.
Jason Kelsey smash!
Don't ask. Rentaro continues to distract Momiji with more kisses, until she admits that with the Hulk, she wasn't talking about groping it, and that Momiji was just fishing for Rentaro to kiss her again. Aw, kinda cute, honestly. No, wait, I'm supposed to hate love. Okay, last part. Lastly, we have Akko and Rentaro chilling at home in Hug Bug Dilemma, and as the name suggests, Akko has gone all hug bug mode, cuddle session with them, but then does a massive hit of 1 billion points of emotional damage to Rentaro saying that she needs to stop hugging him, just to be jebaited into wanting to kiss him instead of hugging him, where Rentaro is immediately revived with 100 zillion bajillion heart points. Yeah, makes sense we end this montage on the most sickeningly cute of the bunch, and it was Akko no less. And that, dear viewers, is another entry for the flirty daily life. Like I mentioned in the previous video, it seems like this will be the new format going forward of new girlfriend, meet the family, and flirty daily life. It's kind of a double-edged sword. I do like these date chapters more than regular daily life, as they give certain girlfriends a moment to themselves to shine as a singular character alongside Rentaro. But knowing 3 out of the 9 of the pattern is kind of underwhelming. But at least next week we're back to the unpredictableness, as it seems the girls of Class 1-3 have a new mystery on their hands. Let's get ready to solve a mystery, gang, as I see you next week for that, as it seems we won't be having a break week. My psychic powers are failing me. I've been Moonlight150, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next video.